It's a tragic pandemic. People everywhere are going vegan having no prior cooking skills and having a tough time stomaching anything they try to cook. We know vegan food is bland on its own. Hell, any food is bland on its own. But with just a few simple ingredients, you can radically transform any of your vegan meals. Let's jump into it. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name's Cole Hastings, and if you're trying to evolve your body and mind through a plant-based diet as well as personal development topics, then consider subscribing and hit that bell so you don't miss a video. We're just gonna have a nice sit-down talk today about why your vegan cooking sucks. I'm sorry, I had to say it, my cooking's not too great, like I'm no chef. Well, I could have done a much better job at presenting this. But if I use these seasonings and these sauces that I'm going to show you guys, they completely transform your meal and take it to the next level. So let's get into this so you can start actually enjoying all of the vegan food you're cooking. First off, let's talk about the seasonings that I want to go over. Now, you can season your dishes and they can still not be good because you're not pairing these seasonings with the right foods. What matters is how you season it and how it can relate to the dish that you're trying to make. So for example, you know, if we're making an Italian dish with some pasta or like some ravioli, vegan ravioli, of course, then you're gonna use stuff like oregano, you're gonna use stuff like thyme. If you're trying to make a Mexican burrito, you don't wanna use those things, obviously. So first off, make sure that you're pairing the seasonings with the correct type of meal. You might be thinking that I'm about to tell you guys to just take salt, pepper, and oil and put that on everything, but that's like cheating. That is such an easy way to make your food taste better, but I wanna make you a better cook through this video, so I'm not going to include any of those as the seasonings or the sauces. First seasoning I want to go over is chili powder. Chili is one of my favorite seasonings of all time for sure. It's a very versatile seasoning, but it's mostly used for Mexican foods. Like if you crumble up some tofu or like cube some tofu and put some chili on it and then put that with rice or something like that, ooh, that is perfect for your Mexican tofu. Next up on my list is cumin. I actually don't have any cumin right now, but I have the bottle for cumin, so you know what? That works. Cumin has a very distinct flavor with an earthy and nutty and spicy taste with bitter undertones, so it's something that you want to use very sparingly. It's an extremely strong spice, so only like a few dashes, maybe a pinch of it in your meals. It will help bring out the flavors in Mexican dishes. Maybe if you cook some lentils and beans, you want to add that in there. It will really make those taste better. And then it also tastes really good in like Indian dishes like curry, or if you're just making like rice or potatoes. Another one of my favorites is paprika. Paprika is so awesome. It's really one of those seasonings that I use on like all of my meals. It almost has a taste like bell pepper. It's kind of sweet, but you can also get it smoked, which just brings out a lot of smokiness flavor in a lot of your dishes. If you like that in dishes, like smoked chipotle sauce or something like that you've had at Chipotle, you can kind of mimic that taste with smoked paprika. I highly suggest it. And also putting it on top of like cheesy dishes again, like chili, really helps to bring out some more flavor. It's so delicious. Next seasoning that I don't use a lot, but I think is really important for vegans and non-vegans to use is turmeric. Because of how healthy it is for you, turmeric is one of the most powerful antioxidants. It can really help to boost your immunity, and I also put it in my tofu scramble and Indian dishes too. It's definitely another very strong type of seasoning. So like cumin, you want to use it sparingly, but just like a few pinches of it will give tofu scramble that egg color that you see on people's Instagrams, and it's definitely a more bitter flavor. I would use it in stuff like Indian dishes yet again. These next three seasonings are the absolute goats. I use them in pretty much all of my dishes, and they are garlic powder, they're onion powder, and nutritional yeast. Now, unless you've been eating literally just like a block of raw tofu a day since you've gone vegan, I'm assuming that you've eaten garlic and onion before. Garlic and onion powder are just pretty much the same flavors, just a little less flavorful than the actual thing. They're just super easy to add to a dish right away, and they will add so much flavor to literally any dish. I love garlic and onion so much, and if you have have more time and you want even more flavor and your dish to stand out even more, here's what you do. Listen up. This is a really good tip. You're going to take some oil. You're going to saute some minced garlic as well as some chopped onion in that oil until they're both soft, and that will go well with pretty much any dish. Use a ton of garlic and onion powder in your dishes, and then also nutritional yeast. If you guys don't know what it is, it's just like this flaky yeast product that's basically like a seasoning that is almost always fortified with a bunch of vitamins and minerals, and also an added bonus is that it actually has quite a decent amount of protein in it too, about 3 grams of protein per tablespoon, and it has a bit of a cheesy flavor to it. So it's just something really great to add on top of dishes that's much better for you than just adding salt on top of your dishes, or like topping it off with any Buddha bowl is really good too. Now for the really interesting stuff, let's get saucy. Now, before I tell you about the amazing homemade sauces that go well with just about any meal, I want to tell you about some lazy sauces that I use a lot. I'll admit I'm lazy most of the time with my meals. I just use some of these sauces. The first one is liquid aminos, which is basically just soy sauce. There's not too much of a difference between the two. If you want to use soy sauce, go ahead. I just like using liquid aminos because it's what I usually have in my house. So if you marinate like tofu or tempeh for a few hours in this stuff, boom, your tofu and tempeh are completely next level. It is crazy how much better they taste. And then if you like bake them afterwards, after you season them, you know, with those seasonings that I told you about, and you bake them, oh my god, your tofu and tempeh are going to be incredible. If you make like homemade seitan as well, that'll make your homemade seitan also taste so good. And then there's two classics, which are hot sauce and sriracha. Yeah, they're basic, there's not much to them, but they do add a lot of flavor to dishes. If you're in a crunch and you just want to just sauce it up on top of your dish, it'll make it taste a lot better, give it more flavor. So why not use those if your dish is a little too dry and bland. Now those homemade sauces, let's go over them. The first one I want to go over is a cashew cream sauce. It is very easy. All you need is a blender to blend all this stuff together. So all you got to do for this one is soak some cashews. You can choose to not soak them, but it'll probably be harder to blend and your sauce won't be as smooth. You're going to add some lemon juice in there, some nutritional yeast, some garlic and onion powder, and then some actual minced garlic as well, and maybe a little bit of basil in there if you're feeling crazy. You can also add some of those seasonings that I was talking about before, like chili or paprika. You might like that taste a little bit better in your sauce, and then boom, it's a very easy sauce that you can just top all your meals off with. Pasta, burritos, Buddha bowls. I keep saying those three over and over because, I mean, that's pretty much the only things that I eat. I mean, you can make cheesy potatoes with it. There's other stuff. I need to start broadening my horizons too. And then the next key sauce to use on your dishes is tahini, and then also flavoring it with some other stuff, mixing it with some other stuff. So you might find tahini, you might be really lucky to find tahini that is already very saucy consistency, but if yours is very solid, like mine usually is, what I do is mix it with some plant milk, any type of plant milk, and then I like to mix the tahini with some sort of sweet sauce, as well as a sauce that's even more bitter than the tahini, because the tahini is very nutty. If we want to get something sweet with that, and then also mix it with something even more bitter than that, it can be really tasty. For example, I like to mix tahini with some sort of sweet Asian sauce. Right now I have like fire dragon sauce in my house. I like to mix it with that, and then you can also mix it with mustard. This is kind of a knockoff of Simnett Nutrition, who's a popular YouTuber's tahini sauce, where he mixes tahini with maple syrup and mustard. That sounds really good. You might want to try that as well, but that's just another sauce that again is going to go well with pretty much any of your dishes. And vegan food is just like really dry on its own, so having a sauce with pretty much every meal is going to make every meal pretty much taste better. We don't want no more excuses like, I can't go vegan because the food's too bland. I tried veganism, I tried to cook and the food was too bland. That's gotta be thrown out the door. Just show your friends this video, it'll be fine. We're all making gains in the kitchen, cooking. We're doing it. Through this video, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like on it. It really helps the channel grow and pushes this out to more people who are finding that they really hate eating vegan food when they cook it themselves. Thanks for watching the whole video, and I'll see you guys next time.